Thank you, Ms. Tsekova, and thank you, Mr. Schwab, for this very kind invitation. Well, it's not easy to start and to conclude today after such a deep and interesting discussion and before the coffee break, but I would like to tell you a real story which is strictly related to the topic proposed by the OECD for this session. So what can SMEs and entrepreneurs do for our cities? And this is exactly what we discussed last year with our entrepreneurial associations and their local administrations in the Confcommercio workshop, how to regenerate cities starting from the people who work and live there. The story begins in 2015 when Confcommercio and the National Association of Local Municipalities signed an agreement to work on improving our cities. Since then, Confcommercio has promoted this national workshop for urban regeneration. Here you can see the sectors represented by the Confederation, which are not only a commercial distribution sector, but also tourism, services, transport, and logistics. And this extensive network of associations allowed us to work closely with territories. But why does Confcommercio promote and support urban regeneration processes? Because we believe that a vital and welcoming city supports business development, and business supports quality of urban life. Our enterprises create a sense of proximity, safety, legality, and social cohesion. Because cities are not only places where people consume products, but are also places where people produce or co-produce economic, social, and cultural values. So we think about urban regeneration as a 360 degrees process, including economical, social, environmental, cultural aspects. So how did we organize these workshops? It was not a top-down experience. The workshops were organized with the territories and by the territories. Expert presentations were followed by informal discussion so people could share their experience. And representatives of our associations, mayors, deputy mayors, and relevant developers of local projects, altogether they spoke about their concrete experiences. And that's happened in the local context. And this helps to give people new ideas. Really, all together, we experimented the value of a multidisciplinary approach. So starting from Rome last April, we organized a roadshow with 4 stops in different geographical areas on 4 specific themes to stimulate urban regeneration processes. And the workshops were made in conjunction with our European delegation. Here is the poster. To spread out the culture, the European culture, and to match projects with EU resources. The Italian tour ended in November at Urban Promo in Milano, and Urban Promo is the most important national urban planning meeting. And last February in Brussels, our European delegation met Commissioner for Urban and Regional Policy, Corina Crețu, to report on this experience. At Urban Promo in Milano, as I said, we presented the first 18 best practices. And imagine the annual event is mostly attended by urban planners and architects. But this time, we gave the floor to people who work in the daily reality of cities. You can see presidents, directors, and experts from our retailer associations. They demonstrate a great ability to operate in cities, activating the right partnerships alongside their local administrations. And really, their enthusiastic stories allowed us to enter into their experiences. A total of 45 good practices are now collected in this freshly printed handbook, meant to facilitate peer-to-peer processes. And here it is. It's hot off the press. Sorry, it's in Italian, but we didn't expect to reach an international audience. And I'm not trying to sell it. It's a free publication. But it helps me to give you some examples today. This was the first thing proposed in the Rome workshop. And as you can see, we have two contrasting examples. So the Confcommercio in Bologna chose innovation. They renewed a vacant commercial space in the city center and set up an high-tech 4.0 shop. Now retailers, in turn, they can move part of their activity there and experiment with digital provision for 3 months. After this period, data collected by intelligent windows and other new analysis tools allow them to choose how to equip their own shop. And this experience helps the retailers to better win new clients and to consider digital as an opportunity rather than a threat. The second example is Palermo. Starting with historical shops, Palermo is working to protect cultural identity and commercial heritage of the city. The aim of the project is to promote and enhance the economy of beauty that identify Italy in the world. Design, fashion, food and wine are all expressions of our city identity. In a globalized world, people, both tourists and residents, they are looking for contact, for unique experiences that go beyond digital purchases. So we can say that the physical shops integrated with digital trade offers a wider experience compared with just e-commerce. And here we have 3 examples of projects that improve social cohesion. Ferrara, to the left, were shopkeepers. They started by cleaning up a fountain, and then they transformed the square. The drug dealer left, and the square became appealing again. Torino promotes shop accessibility for all. And finally, Ragusa, located in the interior of Sicily, provided a microcredit project for startups of young and unemployment people to halt their exodus. Now, let's talk about tourism. Someone mentioned tourism this morning. And most of cities look at tourism as a way to improve their urban development. But we have to say that competition among cities is high. Here we have two projects that involve more than one city. And I have to say are my favorite projects. Sorry for someone of the laboratory which is in the room. They connect territories along the Apennine Ridge or beside the Po River. And tourism flows slowly by bike, activating local economies. This connection involves different mayors, and this gives solidity and continuity to the project. This helps to overcome the discontinuity of public administration. Let's say, if a project is specific to a city and the mayor changes, what happened to the project? But if the project involves 180 mayors and one mayor changes, the project is safe. And this is what's happening in the Apennine, for instance. Here we come to the issue of commercial desertification that moves most of our regeneration projects. The ongoing economical crisis and the ongoing economical desertification of city centers are increasing, also for high rent and administrative costs, and for changing of consumer behavior. In the Confederation, we say, if one shop closes, it's a retailer problem. If a few shops closes, it's a retailer association problem. And if many shops close, it is a city problem. So it's a problem, and it's a big problem for all of us. Just think about how many villages are surviving with only one mini market, which is a primary service for elderly people left there. If the shop closes, the village closes. Economic desertification affects not only small cities, but also cities which are jewels of culture in the world. This is the map of vacant shops in Mantua, in the UNESCO area. Mantua was the Italian capital of culture in 2016. On that occasion, about 2 million euros of private and public resources were invested. Tourism had increased by 28%, and data of vacant spaces changed very dynamically at the time. But the need of urban policy to support retail persists. The financial supports given by Lombardy region to the urban commercial district in 2017 led to a small number of openings. Yes, better than nothing. But how can city face this phenomena? And desertification affects also cities which are full of business opportunities, such as Rovereto, which has a mechatronics center and a startup incubator in the former tobacco factory, restored by architect Kengo Kuma, to be visited on Wednesday. Here, a local support group set up by the local Confcommercio and the public administration meets weekly and is developing an urban regeneration program. Work are in progress, and I want to say nothing more because they are in the room. Surprise. But it's possible to imagine an open incubator using vacant spaces in the cities as places for testing startup innovation. That's only one idea, but we will see. So we have to ask ourselves, I'm urban planner, how can urban planner do to help city to react to desertification? Urban planners have to find solutions, helping local and regional governments and facing the problem of retail meltdown. We can act with local regulation, urban plans, or we can apply national law at local levels. For example, Parma is developing the plan for Small Commerce 2020 that foresees agreement between owners of the vacant stores and entrepreneurs, accessibility, which is very important, also monitoring flow on commercial access and pedestrian areas, regulation and for fiscal facility to open small shops in the city center, and additional tax burden to open medium and large shops in the urban belt. These additional resources gained are intended to improve quality in the urban center. And so the main goal is to reactivate vacant spaces. And Bergamo. In Bergamo, they developed a new urban plan using the so-called sequential approach of Anglo-Saxon origin. This favors the establishment of medium and large sales facility in the historic center area identified by the local urban plan, and this contributes to land use reduction and to bringing back commercial functions in the center, making the city more attractive. In the middle, you can see the urban district of commerce, which was taken into consideration in the general plan. So we can say that cities are changing deeply and fast, also in terms of use, mobility, and logistics. Urban planning also has to consider commercial issues and think about what happens at street level. Finally, Genoa. Genoa faced another problem, the problem of quality of sale activity in the historical center. How do you avoid having a sexy shop across the cathedral or street food in the UNESCO area? Genoa limited some sale activities that are not compatible with the well-defined areas that one in red of value in the historic center. They did this by applying a national law which implements the European Service Directive. In fact, the so-called Bolkestein Directive says that limits to competition can occur only for imperative reasons of general interest. Among those, there is the protection of urban environment. And this process is possible only in accordance with different administrations, so governance. The superintendents, the region, the municipality, the Chamber of Commerce, and of course, trade associations. So the handbook concludes with 3 examples that can be replicated thanks to the document made available by our associations. And there are still many things to do. We have been working with a bottom-up approach, but we also are influencing policies from the top. And in the middle, we have to make impact evident, visible for everybody. So at European level, we ask for more resources for sustainable urban development. And we are in favor of the amendment approved by the EU Parliament recently, that was February, I think, that plans to pass from 6% of national ERDF resources proposed by the Commission to at least 10% in the new regulation for the next programming period 2021-2027 of the Cohesion policy. At national level, we need to pass from extraordinary to ordinary support to cities with dedicated resources and clear rules. Our national urban law is 50 years old, sorry to say it, and not clear after 15 years, of course. At local level, last week, we renewed the agreement with the National Association of Local Administration that provides for additional shared training courses among administration and representatives of our local trading association. So the aim is to put administration and association at the same level of dialogue. Moreover, we will work with other networks, such as National Urban Institute. We participated in their National Congress last week, and creating wider networks of networks among urban planners, architects, economists, sociologists, but always starting from places and including citizens, workers, and SMEs. As we can see, I hope you can see, there are many opportunities for mutual support between SMEs and cities. Together, they can develop their success and their capacity to attract. And this capacity are based on two very valuable assets: work and quality of life, the two causes of internal and external migration. So that's why we particularly appreciated this unexpected OECD invitation. We believe that a dialogue developed by this multi-stakeholder platform can help us to find shared solutions to preserve the identity of our city and cultures, to make them resilient to the risk of homologation coming from globalization and digitalization. Probably, a new kind of physical digital shop will be born to offer services to citizens, and this will happen starting from the urban fabric. So the book is available online, and we have a few copies here, and thank you very much for your kind attention.